question, Chris, before we start this podcast officially. Do you want to try that headset or not?
This headset? Yeah, why not?
You do?
Yeah. Well,
Oh, yeah.
What's the difference?
Oh, because no one wants to use it.
Okay then.
Tell me.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Tell me.
Oh, bingo.
As long as I look all right.
You do
My
look
head's
good.
small enough as it is.
Oh, I'm pumped. That's the two people that have used it. Anyway, so I guess we'll start the podcast
Go
then.
for it, guys.
Go, go, go! And you do it, and he's in! That's a massive crash, and it's happened immediately! This is amazing! Big shot, and it's lights out, and away we go!
Chris, we were saying before, which was technically still on the air, but you went up to Bathurst over the weekend, didn't you?
Yeah. So we the weather kind of stayed a bit dry or clear.
Yeah.
And took the opportunity to go there because I haven't been there for a very long time.
Yeah.
And it was good to take my boy out. Went with Dad, and it was been a long time since we've kind of been amongst the motorsport scene.
Yeah.
So it was nice to kind of get amongst it all. But unfortunately, the top 10 got canned due to the weather. But yeah, we left earlier, which we just left early that day, and unfortunate because it would have been nice to watch it. But it didn't happen.
Yeah. Did you go to the top of the mountain though?
No, it's difficult to go with my dad and my son. So I would have loved to, because actually they had the buses there that were taking everyone up to the top of the mountain, but there was a long queue. The weather wasn't so great either.
How's your dad though?
He's well, mate. He's had a few heart issues over the past couple of years.
Really?
COVID brought a lot of pressures and a lot of issues for a lot of people, I guess, in general.
Yeah.
And Dad's had a few complications since. But otherwise, look, he's doing well now. So so his spirit's there. He's at work.
Yeah.
So that keeps him motivated and busy.
Yeah. I haven't seen you in forever, really, which is
Yeah.
why I brought you on here. Well, not also as a mate and also as an ex-supercar driver, but you were saying like your work's stacked, and you had obviously that helmet on the pitch, like on camera here. It's been at work and on a mantle type of thing and all that type of thing. But what are you doing for work again?
So we've got a family-run smash repairs in Artarmon. So, look, we've been running well over 40 years now. So, we get quite busy. So keeps me very busy. And since COVID again, it's caused a lot of issues, as I said. And the part supplies are just really bad. So, sourcing parts and trying to deal with customers, insurance companies all at once, it takes a bit of time and stress.
Yeah.
So-
What's obviously your smash repairs business called again?
Jack Hillerman's.
Jack Hillen. That's it. I was trying to remember when we connected on the internet. I was like, "Fuck, what's the business called again?"
Mate, you got to remember. You come in every week with your car.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Actually, I should now.
No, you shouldn't.
Not actually. I don't want
For
to.
your sake, mate.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor. You don't want to see me. You don't want to be my friend.
Oh, dude. But also, we were saying as well off air that we used to race karts together, and my first ever race meeting ever as a driver was you and my teammate with Troy Hunt.
Yeah.
I actually want to know, before I hopped into the go-kart scene, how long did you start when you were kart racing?
Well, I started karting, I'd probably say, 8-9 years of age. We used to go to Windsor, the butterfly farm.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a competition as such, but I'd been a clubman.
Yeah.
At that age, just running circles and just enjoying it at that age. Wasn't a competitive part of my life, but I'd probably say the competitive part or age would have been about 11 or 12.
Oh, so you started the same age as me then?
Yeah, most likely. It's hard for me to remember exactly.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. I didn't realise. So you started the same age as me racing karts.
Yeah, so Eastern Creek, Newcastle. So that's, I think, around that era. Kept me busy in the go-kart scene.
Yeah. Do you remember much about like your karting days though? Like, obviously, do you
know what? It's like a foggy memory.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember a lot more detail.
Yeah.
But, all those years that just flew past, I do remember some good moments of every part of my life in motor racing, but I wish it was a lot finer, memory of what I did and experienced.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still do remember, yes.
Yeah. Were you with just Troy, or were you with Top Kart, like the team? I can't remember.
I'd say Top Kart helped me out. I wasn't with part of their team as such. But what was it? Max. There was Max and there was Tim.
Yeah, Tim Craig.
Oh,
yeah. Max King.
Max,
Yeah.
Max and Timmy, they were great guys, always offering a hand, and obviously they looked after Troy as well, and Troy looked after me. So there's a good kind of a circle happening, and good crew.
Did you and your dad want to get into cars after karts, or did he just put you in karts and see if you liked the sport though back when you were younger?
Look, Dad's always loved cars, racing. It's always been his thing, and I feel as though he has lived part of his want to be in a racing car for himself. I think he's lived that through me as well. So obviously he didn't get that opportunity at a younger age. So there I came along, and he lived that and experienced that through me, and it got us a lot closer as well. But he loved for me to jump into a car, and the opportunity came up where Wayne Russell had his car, the BMW racing team he had, the 323, and an opportunity came for me to jump in that, and then, so we did.
Yeah, right. And that's where the production car thing took off from karts.
Yeah, sorry. Prior to that, I should correct this.
Yeah.
I needed a license.
Okay.
So for me to compete.
Yeah.
In car racing. So we went to, Wayne's from New Zealand. So he's got his links within New Zealand. So I ended up getting a New Zealand motor racing license and had to compete there to be able to come back and compete here in production cars.
I had no idea that happened.
Yeah. So I think I was 15 or in my late 15 year. And flew over to New Zealand and did, I think, a couple of race meets, and then came back here and got my CAMS license a lot later. Yeah, but I had my New Zealand motorsport license here to compete.
Was that in Formula Ford over there, or V's or something? What was it?
It was called Formula Challenge.
Yeah, right.
So I think they were like a 1300cc Suzuki bike engine or something like that. Yeah, with paddle shift back then.
Really?
So I was 15 odd years of age, and they had pretty cool technology for what it was.
Yeah. And it was like was it like a Formula V though, with paddle shift?
Yeah, I would say it was, yeah.
Yeah, right. Do you remember anyone racing that you raced over there who's still racing now or was retired from it?
There was a guy called Barry Holden, and he was one of the guys who pretty much helped run the category, and he competed as well. And he set the fastest laps and the lap record and whatnot. This was in Taupo, by the way.
Yeah.
And he was a champion guy, but that was the last I knew of someone who was competing in that category. Yeah. But I don't think he's in motor racing no longer. Obviously, we've all aged quite quickly. Yeah. So it gets a bit harder. Pockets get drier. You know how it is.
Our bodies get stiffer.
Yes. Yes. So it catches up to you. Yeah. So I think it's crazy to think, that was so long ago now.
Yeah. You were saying a Brooke, you were like I was saying before, Brooke had hurt her wrist and stuff like that, and we live around the Northern Beaches together. You were saying you were interested in your son in BJJ, weren't you? Or
so that's the Gracie
Barra?
Yeah. So I'd love for him to get into the competitive side of life, I guess, because myself in a different side of competing in motor racing, it taught me a lot, great life experience, so I'd love for my son to kind of go within a field of competition, and it's somewhere you can build great mindset and discipline.
Yeah, I was going to say the jiu-jitsu is really good like that. That's what we're saying off air, and that it teaches them so much, and they do a lot of different you learn everything from self-defense to competition fighting styles. So it's good, especially for kids. And they also learn a lot of anti-bullying is the big thing that they promote there in that. So I find it really helpful. I had to ask, would you ever want your kids to, if they said to you they wanted to get into go-karts, racing, do you want them to go down that route? Or?
Look, if it's we all know it's an expensive sport, right? And our passion kind of overrides that sometimes, and you just want, my son, I've got a simulator at home.
Yeah,
he's on it 24/7, right?
Yeah.
He loves it. He's bloody good as well. I don't boast about it, but now I am because I've got the opportunity to. He's bloody good. So if there's any big sponsors out there who want to start my son, he's a good driver. So no, he's really good. He's doing better than me, and he's 7 years of age. He's unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you just pick up on it? And
I dead set. He just picked up on it. A few pointers, and I'll be in the background pretending I'm not in the room, but I'm watching him.
Yeah.
And I get amazed to see how well he develops so quickly. But I guess it's like the new age of kids these days.
Yeah.
So being exposed to all the technology and what they have at hand. It's such a different experience to what myself and you had.
Yeah, well, that's actually interesting because Brooks see me try the simulators and I can't stand them.
We spoke about this on before. He has tantrums.
Like, really?
He'll throw that thing out the window and just start screaming and be like, "No, give me a real car."
Honestly, I feel the same.
Yeah.
But then you bingle the real car, and then you're like, "Shit, I should have just stuck to the simulator." So no, it's I'll be honest. Like back in the day, I'd take my laptop with me to a lot of my races.
Yeah.
And I'd have R Factor on there.
Yeah, right.
And there was the mini challenge, which I did.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're at the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And we had I had the exact same mini challenge on the R Factor.
Yeah.
In the simulator, as I did in real life.
Yeah.
And I just going through the actual game, I thought I'd try a few different things. I tried fourth gear instead of third through the S's up the back.
Yeah.
And I gained a second and a half in the game. Okay?
Yeah.
And then I go, you know what? I've got nothing to lose. I'll try it on the track tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I did, and I gained 7/10.
Wow.
So I don't know how realistic
that
really was, but it definitely did make a difference in the actual the real life.
Was this at the AGP though?
Yeah, this is at the AGP. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So you tried it on the game, and then it went to the track, and you picked up 7/10.
Yeah. It was. I was blown away. I was like, it can't be that accurate. Even though I was like, where's the other 7 or 8/10? Come on. Yeah. But no, like a massive gain. So. Yeah. It's also on your teaching your reaction, your timing. So it's good, and a lot more kids these days are on board with that now too. So
yeah, and you were saying also, well, we were talking. It's technically still on the air, but we were talking about Mal Rose, how he'd come on the podcast. You did driver training work at Oran Park with him or something like that.
Yeah, was it Oran Park? Yeah, I would say it was Oran Park. Yeah, back in the day. Mal had all his Mirage Cup cars and everything. So, so we had some time we spent together, and great guy, and he's got a lot of knowledge and experience. Yeah.
And we'll go back to where you said obviously you had to get your license in New Zealand, and you came back and you had to race. What was it? Wayne Russell's car, was it?
Yeah.
Over here, was that was your first production car racing back in Australia? Was that
correct?
How it worked?
Yeah, exactly that. So after I come back from Formula Challenge in New Zealand, I'd come back here and competed in my very first race was in Clipsal in the production car. So,
yeah, right.
Yeah, I did some testing prior, but the first race was Clipsal in the production car.
Yeah, what year was this?
2003, I think.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Right. Oh, God, who was racing in the I know at the end, I'm thinking of the mini challenge because we were just talking about the mini challenge, but in the production cars you had Mark King, I think, back then, maybe?
No, he was in the performance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, performance cars. But we had, we had Dave Russell.
Yep.
Dave Russell, Bates.
Yeah, Rick Bates.
It's going back a while now, isn't it?
Yeah, God. But the pro car days back then were so good.
The pro car days were awesome. You can't replicate that because it was like a small community. Yeah. Within motor racing is a small community, but then again, this was pretty tight,
Yeah.
So, it was pretty cool experience to have that.
Yeah. Oh, God, because I was in the pits obviously just helping Jeff out, who's obviously because we're
Yeah.
still in his unit.
Yeah,
It was just crazy. Like back then, as you said, it's like a tight knit community, and Brooke's actually seen that as recently now, just getting into it. She realizes that like her own little tucked away area. I guess it's changed a lot since us, but Brooke's witnessing it now.
I guess every, like we said, sport's got their own little communities, and it's definitely, you guys have got your own, like, is it, it's what it is, everyone in their passion.
But ours is the best.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
It's what's number one.
Let's just leave it at that. No, it was cool. And you know what? I'm like, you know what? Maybe they must think, the now age or the now generation, it must think that they've got the best, era of their game.
Yeah. And like obviously for us, when we had the pro car community, they've kind of got it similar now where it's the ARG TCR type of thing, which I guess it's kind of replicating the pro car days, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's still, as we were saying.
I mean, don't forget, you had some big name drivers back then. You had Brocky.
Yep.
You had
Jim Richards was in it.
Richards, Stokell.
Yeah.
So many cool drivers that,
John Bow was in it too.
Bow, and I looked up to all these guys and go, wow, I'm actually competing at the same event as these guys. So, it was a pretty cool thing to experience and have under the belt.
But back then, as we were saying as well, like now a lot of the generation drivers are younger. Do you know what I mean? And they're kind of coming through quicker. Where back then you were like, I think you were like 21 or something, and you were the youngest essentially in the paddock. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just changed dramatically since then.
Yeah, it has. I think teams are giving a lot more opportunities just to give a younger driver a go. They obviously have some strong backing behind them as well. So the opportunity they've given them, just with all this technology and all the simulator that's at hand now, is helping enhance everything as well for younger people as well. So they've got an earlier foot in the door, that's for sure.
Yeah, and you get as you said, like going to your Super 2 days, again, it was a packed field and there was no one in the younger age bracket. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
no, look, I felt like I was one of the younger ones back then too, but looking at it now and you compare to today's competitors, I wasn't that young.
Yeah. I got to ask, do you have any brothers or sisters? Like, how big's the Alajajian family?
Well,
I've got to know, because this is the story about yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, look, I've got three other siblings. So I've got two. They're all older. I'm the youngest.
Yeah.
So I'm the spoilt one. And I cop it till today.
Want to hear more? Each week we will share the hottest clips from our guest interviews on YouTube. But to hear the full episode, make sure to subscribe or follow us on your favourite podcast platform.